I muted the mic. Davis கூப்பிடுறாரு.
I didn't like it in vacation.
You request David sir also to unmute?
Yeah.
We want to.
Yeah, Mr. Davis, can you please unmute?
We can hear it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Right, Mr. Davis, that he is not unmuted yet. Soliman came in. இது நான் எழுதிய ஒரு பார்க்கிறேன்.
Good evening, everyone. We are delighted to have you all with us today as part of Avenue 2020, a mission to enkindle the minds of students in diversified fields and motivate them to choose the course of their interest and caliber. I am Neha and Manoj of Class 11I from Indian School Muscat, your host this evening. It's my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all. First and foremost, I take this opportunity to express our profound gratitude to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq for his great vision, leadership, and benevolence. May the Almighty bless His Majesty and this beautiful nation with peace and prosperity. I deem it my privilege to extend a hearty welcome to Honorable Chairman, Board of Directors, Indian Schools in the Sultanate of Oman, Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, and honorable members on the board. Mr. Ajay Kumar J, President, Indian School Muscat Management Committee, esteemed members of Indian School Muscat Management Committee, our Honorable Principal, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Chauhan, Presidents and esteemed members of all Indian School Muscat Management Committees in the Sultanate of Oman, Honorable Principals, Vice Principals, Assistant Vice Principals, Supervisors, Coordinators, Heads of Departments, Teachers, Parents, and Students. Today, we are privileged to have with us two eminent speakers. Mr. Davis Kallukaran, a well-known chartered accountant with more than 30 years of experience. He is the chairman of the Institute of Certified Fraud Examiners, Chapter Oman, and is the founding and managing partner of Cromac Ghazali, Chartered Accountants, Muscat. He has diversified experience in multidisciplinary practice of accounting, auditing, management, and IT consultancy. We have another renowned speaker, Mr. James Ravi, a highly innovative, energetic, and self-driven executive. He has extensive experience in financial training and operations management, coupled with insightful leadership abilities and a passion for performance improvement and novel initiatives. He is a chartered accountant with more than 25 years of experience, CPA from US, certified in IFRS from ICAEW UK. Currently, he is the Director, IFRS Services at Cromac Muscat. Dear audience, there is a feedback form in the description box. Please feel free to fill it. Over to you, sirs, for your presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Baby Samuel, all the management committee members, and the organizers of Avenue 2020, thanks a lot for inviting us to make this presentation, which I take it as a privilege, great privilege, especially to address the student community. You know, always I found that the teaching is the most noble profession in the world. However, the next come the accountants, which is the most popular and well sought after profession across the world. The main reason for the popularity for accountants is we deal with money. You know, we deal with only rich people who can spare a few hundreds. You know, I remember that when I was after my pre-degree, when I was looking for various courses to join, whether I should go in for engineering, whether I should go for other science streams or medicine, you know, then one of my dad's friends, he said, Davis, you know one thing, you go in for the accountant's profession because the sky is the limit. You don't limit your qualifications by graduating in accounts, but there are a lot of other avenues. You can be a chartered accountant by profession. You can be a company secretary by profession. You can be a fraud examiner by profession. You know, you can be a banker, whatnot. You know, there are thousands and thousands of opportunities for accountants. For a small example, I will tell you what we are doing in Oman. We are accountants. We are accountants and auditors. When I was your age, I never understood what the auditors were doing, you know. But my father, of course, he influenced me to go in for the accounting. But now today, we have with us in Oman office around 65 qualified, professionally qualified team. They are from the various countries and from various international institutions, like, you know, we have chartered accountants from India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, UK, US, Philippines, Egypt. You know, this is a combination of accountants from various institutes, and this also helps us to reach our services to different nationalities. So the people who are coming to our profession, and especially to the auditor's profession, we try to mentor them. Some of them, you know, we have also trainees who come after their graduations. We try to mentor them and mold them into good accountants. We give them various avenues in which they can pursue their higher qualifications. In Oman also, you have very good opportunity for going in for accounting profession. Like, you know, you can have ACCA, which doesn't need much formalities of registering with accountant's office or anything. You know, there are institutions here which can provide even visa also. So we have about, I said about 65 auditors, and we are not doing only accounting. Accounting is one part of the job. We are doing auditing services. We are doing forensic investigation services. We are providing internal audit. We are providing due diligence audit. We are doing valuations. You know, as I said, there are very good opportunities for accountants. One thing you should know that any other profession other than accountants, there are limitations. But accounting profession is one which everyone needs. Every industry needs an accountant. Every school needs an accountant. Every business needs an accountant. You take an engineer or doctor, there are limitations. In the sense that engineers can join only in their field. Doctors can join only in the health services. But accountants, they are welcome everywhere. And it is mandatory for companies to have an accountant also. Now with these few words, I'm actually handing over the mic to my colleague, Mr. James Ravi. He has been working in the industry. He has been working in audit firms like us. He was providing training programs for accountants and auditors. And so he is a very well-experienced person who can talk about various areas in which you can take your career and can be successful. And at any point of time, in the future coming days, if you have any doubts or you want to discuss something about your career opportunities, please do visit us. We are all there. With these words, I hand over the mic to my colleague, Mr. James Ravi.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. It's been a great pleasure this evening to be with Avenue 2020. And we'd like to especially thank the management of the school, the principal, and the entire team who have organized this wonderful, very informative, educative sessions for the school leavers and for their future career purpose. I just gone through this bouquet of more than 100 sessions. It's really great to know that the speakers are very well known, and from where you get such great speakers on one platform. Really, you're a very privileged bunch of people today that your school could bring all of them together, and over a period of 3 weekends, you're going to have this session, and we convey our best wishes for this and a bright future for our children. Great. With this small greeting introduction, let me go into my sessions. As the title is given as Career Opportunities in Banking, Finance, and Brokerage. Actually, the area is very limited when we put only 3 industries. I would rather like to cover the entire spectrum of courses and the career paths available to students who come out from 12th standard. And it's predominantly applicable to people with accounting program, which they have taken in the 11th and 12th. But most of the programs even available for non-accounting students as well. For even students who have taken science stream, if they want to change at this point in time and enter into the courses which we are going to discuss today, and that's always possible, and the doors open for them in a very special way. Institutes have made arrangements for such aspirants. So what we are having today is the biggest question we have. Screen is moving. Screen moving. What's this for? I'm not able to move the screen. So the screen icon move. Can you please give me the privilege on the slideshow? Yeah.
Hello, good evening, sir. You have already shared your screen, so you can move to the next slide, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm not able to move the slide.
So you have all the slides in this same presentation, sir?
Yes.
So can you just stop sharing the screen once and again?
Please start. Okay.
Can you just stop?
Yeah.
Lag. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now,
Great.
okay.
And now one of the daunting questions in the minds of our students when they finish their 12th standard is going to be, what should I do next? Should it be a professional course, or should I do the regular graduation course from any of the colleges and universities? I would strongly advise that everyone who's aspiring to have a very successful and prosperous career should pursue a professional study and come up. What's happening today in the world is, if you want to take an easier route at this level, thinking that I will do a graduation, then after 3 years or 4 years, I will decide what is to be done. That's going to be really a risky thing. What we see today in the world is, as we are very much connected with the business world, many jobs which are available today, it's really going to be a question down the line, another 5 years or 10 years later, will these jobs be in the market or not? That's going to be a big question. For any menial job, any average job, a job which requires just a graduate degree, certainly will be modified or replaced, or really going to be not existing in the future. That's going to be one of the biggest fears, as we see in this year because of COVID-19 situation. Compared to the January month, and we are in November, in these 10, 11 months, things have changed globally so much. You know, the entire paradigm of work from home has become the norm now. You know, well, if that is going to be the case, many jobs which are related to work from office is gone now. Yeah, every firm, every business unit is, they are tuning themselves for this new paradigm and the new normal, which is work from home. So if you want to be really excelling in your career and go through a grilling part, the first 3-4 years through a professional course, and then you can start your career, there will be a real assurance that you will always have the success. As Mr. Davis shared with his long experience and wisdom, the accounting profession, as he was telling that how he wanted to either go for engineering or any other program when he finished his 12th, and someone advised him very wisely to go for CA, that's going to be the best advice even today we can give, even after 30 years. So that is the thing. And even down the line, next 30 years or 40 years, these professions will continue to be there. That is a projection we have. We can guarantee that, because the job which accountants and the auditors are doing cannot be replaced that easily by either machine learning or artificial intelligence. It's going to be taking a long way. There are some niche areas in accounting side where we can have machine learning coming up, like even many of the firms are also, we are giving advice on something known as RPAs, that is the robotic process automation. Now, that is a very niche area, very small portion, but the major accounting profession will remain. That's what we expect, and that's going to happen. And that's what the past few years we have been discussing. There will be some norms changing, the way we do the work will change, but these professions will continue to be there. So that's the conclusion all the people who are experienced in this field can say that. But at the end of the day, none of us have a crystal ball to predict the future. But looking at the past and looking what's happening in 2020 during the COVID situation and the way developments are happening in the business world, we believe that these programs, if you do a professional certification program in accounting and auditing, that will certainly carry you through all your professional life. There's no doubt about it. Or even if you want to take a short or an easy route through graduate studies, after 3 years, you are going to again ask the same question: what shall I do after graduation? So certainly a graduate is not going to get a cream of the jobs today. And a graduate has to start from the bottommost layer in the hierarchy of the organizations, and certainly is not going to have an edge. And people will certainly advise him at that time, you should have done a professional course. Why don't you do some masters? Why don't you go for it? So that's going to be the thing. For the first and fundamental advice we give is, whichever line you're going to take, go for a professional degree as much as possible. That will help you. Yeah. With that, let's go. Now, when you finish your professional studies, when you think about professional studies after finishing your 12th standard in commerce and accounting streams, from India, we have 3 professional courses readily available now. And the one is the Chartered Accountant program, which is the most popular and time-tested one. And I'm going to talk more about it in the coming slides. The other one is Company Secretary, which is a very specialized area, but it's more into company law and the company secretarial practice. And whatever, till recently, whatever a company secretary can do, a chartered accountant could also do, but not vice versa. But recently, the company law 2013 is coming in India, and there they made some special niche areas where a company secretary is required to sign the returns filed by the companies. And the third profession is the cost and management accountant. That has been there for quite a long time. Earlier, it was known as the cost and works accountant, ICWA, but now that is changed to cost and management accountant. But certainly with that qualification alone as a standalone qualification, will you get an edge in the market to get a job? We don't see that, because very rarely cost audit or cost accounting is a mandatory thing. Okay, these are all just internal requirement for management, and there is no regulation to make it compulsory. Whereas a chartered accountant is very much needed everywhere. So among the 3 programs available in India, CA stands out, no doubt about it. And I'm very proud to be a chartered accountant from India, as Mr. Davis here with us, and many of our colleagues. And if you think about outside India, as we are living in Oman, there are other professional courses available, like the Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, which is equivalent to Indian CA. And also we have the ACCA, which is the Associate Chartered and Certified Accountant. That's also over 100-year-old institute. And the third one is a CPA from USA, which is slightly different than all the other programs we talked about. So what happens in a CPA USA is the minimum entry requirement is going to be a graduation. And moreover, these graduations which we have in this part of the world will not be sufficient, as the graduation has to be 4 years in the US. Therefore, if you are just a graduate, even you won't be eligible to write the CPA exam unless and until you fulfill additional qualification. So that's the background with which I want to start. So as a student, you need to know which is the best course that I should do, so that, and what are the opportunities available once I have done that. Yeah, so from this slide, we conclude, and we come to almost a unanimous conclusion, I can say, that Chartered Accountant is the best program from India. And in this part of the world, in Oman, we can completely do the program. Of course, if you want some classes, special way, you can visit India and you can attend your classes, but even the exams can be taken in Oman. That's a great thing about it. And currently, in fact, the exams are going on for the November 2020 session. With that, we can say a slogan for Indian CA that a CA from India is nurtured in India, but is groomed for the world. So if you see the reach of the CAs, it's quite far and wide. Today, we have more than 250,000 chartered accountants. I could be a little on the underside of the number, and we have more than 10 lakh students who are studying this program all over the world, we can say. The system, the syllabus is framed in such a way that a CA can travel across the world into any part of the world without having any additional training. He can directly start a job or a career. Moreover, the CA Institute has taken so many additional MOU, that is Memorandum of Understanding, and MRAs, that is Mutual Recognition Agreements, with various institutes across the world, from Australia to Canada to Ireland to other parts of the world, where they can get just a concessional route through which they can become the member of the chartered accountants or the public accountants in those countries. So that is why we can say that they are groomed for the world. Even in Oman, as we speak, we have in fact active chartered accountant chapter in Oman and branches in Sohar and Salalah, and the total number of registered members is around 400 to 500. And generally, there are almost equal number of members who are not actively participating in the chapter activities, but we can say on the average, we may have at least 1,000 chartered accountants in entire Oman, I can say. In fact, when you compare that to UAE, UAE is having around some 6,500 to 7,000 chartered accountants of India. So that's a reach we have. And for CA is the profession par excellence, we can say. Now, when we talk about in today's global scenario, where do we stand and where does India stand? It's quite interesting to know. As you see the global GDP of 2019 given, US is number one in the GDP with $21.43 trillion, and China number two, and Germany number three, and the UK number four it was. Now we have taken the place of number four. Sorry, Japan is also there. So we are number five globally as far as GDP value-wise concerned. But if you see the GDP growth rate-wise, we are number two in the world, yeah, until the last year statistics. This year, COVID, no countries have given their final GDP results out yet, so we have to wait and see. So if that is the case, the growth-wise, we are number two in the world, and one of the reasons of our growth is service provision. As you see, China has become the global factory for manufacturing. As we know, all the products, from textile to mobile phone, everything is manufactured in China. But India is the service provider to the world. So when you see about service provision, it includes even the accounting and auditing services. So back in India, there are BPO officers who do the accounting for global industries like even British Airways is having a huge setup in Delhi, getting the accounts done in India with Indian chartered accountants. So we have a huge market and which is growing very well, and the government has taken all the steps in that direction, recognized CA Institute, and for the CAs have in the days to come a bright future. Certainly, there's no doubt about it. So that's a thing. Now, when you talk about the CA program, once you finish your CA, you have two lines of opportunities. So here, I think this slide is very important for you to know what are the career options available. When you talk about banking, finance, and brokerage, we have put it even much wider than that. So when a CA completes this program and comes out, he's having fundamentally two options. Option one is going into practice. What we mean by practice is starting his own office where he provides the audit and accounting services, as Mr. Davis has done 30 years back, and which has grown into like a big tree where we all take our board. And now we started with the 2 people. Now we have 60 people grown and providing all these services which are listed here and much more. Yeah, so that is one option, to become a member in practice. On the other hand, you can take up a job and become finance manager, finance controller, CFO, finance director, and that is called members in practice. We will see that in the next slide. And in this slide, I want you to take you through the different services that could be provided, and that could create a niche market, a niche career path for each one of you when you take up this program. Now, think about it. The first one is the fundamentally accounting services. As I mentioned earlier, India is doing the accounting service for back office service for so many industries across the world. And audit is another one, like audit, nobody else in India, nobody else can be certifying the financial statement, the balance sheet and the income statement of any company unless he's a chartered accountant. So that authority is given. That is why through the charter, they got the authority, and that's why they are called chartered accountants. So you may have other accountants who can do accounting service, but when it comes to signing the balance sheet, only a chartered accountant can do. Similarly, all the Indian CAs here in Oman, if they fulfill certain additional criteria, they can be the signing auditors, and when they start an audit firm, there are some other additional requirements they need to fulfill. That is put aside. He is eligible fundamentally to do that work. And the next one, major service, which is upcoming and is going to be taking really much more impact in the market, is VAT. As we all know, Oman has already enacted the act is going. The VAT is going to come by 2021 April, hopefully, and all the companies have already taken up this additional assignment of creating the VAT entries and VAT invoices, changing their accounting packages, their invoice printing system, so that VAT will be incorporated. And we also have income tax. Currently in Oman, we have income tax only for companies, businesses, and we also read that soon they are planning to bring income tax for personal taxation as also. Therefore, these other tax services like filing tax returns and getting tax clearances, going for tax appeals, all these are provided by chartered accountants like us. And for that is completely an independent function, the independent career path compared to accounting as a separate career path or auditing as a separate career path. Then the third one is going to be business advisory services, is the term which includes a very wide spectrum of services. For example, if you talk about mergers and acquisitions, so that becomes a specialist area. Valuation of companies, valuation of intangibles, brands, these type of areas is another area, the niche area in business advisory service. Then we have due diligence and services, which are going to be another big area. For these are the areas we can say each one has around so many additional sub-career paths underneath. And next one is the forensic and fraud prevention services. That's another huge area which is coming up very much in Oman and many parts of the world. We also call that as AML regulations, which is anti-money laundering regulations. That is another big area, but there are specialists who do these areas. And recently you would have known about it that common reporting standards, because Oman has been a signatory for the World Trade Organization and the global OECD signatory countries. The OECD standing for the Organization for Economic Cooperation. So they do the tax preventive measures. So Oman has become a signatory, and that has opened up additional line of professional services and professional careers in Oman and other parts of the world. Then we have ERP, the Enterprise Resource Planning software packages, and the Infotech is another major area where you have accounting services can be provided offline and online. Again, this open up a huge area. And then specialist audit services like qualification like Certified Information System Auditor, CISA. And then there is one more advanced certification called CISP. These two also, many chartered accountants pursue their career in that if they are very IT savvy and they want to move away from the core accounting into technology. They have done very successfully. In fact, in no other profession, IT, computer science people can play a role in that. But when it comes to business applications, there's no one better than chartered accountant who can understand the nuances of the business in a much better way. So they certainly have an edge, though they are not directly involved with the programming aspect of it. Even there are quite a few who have done that as well. But on the audit side of it, on the inspection and verification side of it, only the CAs with the additional technical audit qualification like CISA doing excellently well. They created a niche market for them. And as I mentioned earlier, AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the RPA services, robotic process automation services are coming up like anything, and where CAs are required, one who understands the accounting nuances of an entity is required to set up these type of services. So, and then a new concept has come up for the past few years, and under COVID it will become quite popular, which is called virtual CFO. That means companies who cannot afford to have a full-time CFO, they outsource their CFO function, which is taken up by chartered accountant. Before they're sitting at the luxury of their home, they do the CFO function for 2-3 small enterprises, small businesses, or even large entities. And that is again a special niche area where only chartered accountants are very fit to do. So these are the 6, though I mentioned 6, there could be 60, I can say, if I want to put all of them. So these are the different career paths available. But fundamentally, you must have a strong professional background and basic education. That is what you are getting from the Indian CA. Yeah. And when you come to the members in industry, as I mentioned, it will be quite surprising that out of the total candidates passing out from the CA exam, only 15%, statistically speaking, go for practice. We saw in the previous slide. 85% of the members, they go for industry jobs because many of them don't have the luxury of putting up an office and waiting for 1-2 years of gestation period, growing, and then creating a market for them. Because some people are coming from very poor background, they need to immediately support their family, and they need to go for industry and start a job with a monthly salary. So 85% of the members are going for a job. In fact, the CA Institute is arranging a lot of campus interview programs across India, and you'll be surprised to know the highest salaries paid are from these top companies who come for this career campus interviews. And last year, the highest salary was 22 lakhs per year. 22 lakh rupees per year was the salary offered to CAs from the top company in India. So that is the way, the salary wise also they have a great edge. And this is not only in India, across the globe, people do go. And VAT in the Middle East is coming up, for that is opening up additional areas, as I mentioned earlier. And the ideal experience level, if you want to have a breakthrough, is minimum period of 5 years. I just put it as a thumb rule. It's not a very hard and fast rule. And industry experience you can also have based on country and region and very specific areas. Like I'm an insurance specialist, you can say like that. Though you are a chartered accountant, I specialize in insurance company. I specialize in banking industry. I specialize in brokerage. Or like that, qualified chartered accountants can go into these areas and create a specialization in different backgrounds or different industries. Even in the UK, the CA intermediate and final both are matched and given the accreditation by the NARIC, the national accreditation body. And according to them, Indian CA final is equivalent to master's degree in the UK also. So that's the level of thing we are talking about. And if you see the number of chartered accountants who are members outside India, most of the kids who are studying here, they may not like to go and work in India. They may look for any other Western or Australia type of countries. And as we see in this graph, the pie chart, Australia is having 29% of this CAs exported from India. And we see 17% coming from Singapore, like that, all the statistics is there. In fact, as we go ahead, we will see where other countries CAs are having the chapters. The other thing is the distribution of members in practice and members in non-practice job services are also there. As you see, UAE is having around 2,500. In fact, it's quite old, slightly old statistic. That's what I can say, though they say 1st of June. Because this is taken from the chapter membership, but there are so many CAs who don't become chapter members in a local country because they are happy with their qualification from India. Therefore, this is a distribution. Now, what does the CA Institute do to make the CA course more popular across the world? Therefore, we have global footprint, 45 chapters as we speak today. In fact, last month in US, they opened 8 more additional chapters in addition to New York, Chicago, and California, in San Francisco and Los Angeles. They opened in other places like Houston, in Texas, Colorado, and so many other places. They opened around 8 more. For 22 countries, we have the reach, and dedicated regional offices and support services available in India. An MOU and MRS is signed with various institutes across the world to get their recognition. And when you are a chartered accountant, you become a part of a network with a global reach. If you go into any of the LinkedIn accounts of CAs who are quite active in their profession, you will see the reach they have. Even my LinkedIn account is around some 1,600 people. For many of them are chartered accountants. So that's access and the reach we have. So I want to go quick. Many of you may know how to go about this program. There are 2 routes to go to CA studies. One is directly from 12th standard. You can go through the CA studies by going through foundation route. So if you finish your exams by June, April, and May, and your results come, even before your results are out, you can register for the foundation exam. That is a CPT exam, which will be held in the month of November of following May. And then once you finish it, we will see details in the coming slide, and then you can go. On the other hand, if you are a graduate, okay, or even you are a non-commerce graduate, I would say that even the 12th standard, when I say the foundation route is available not only for commerce and accounting students, it's available for all the 12th standard students, any stream. Even if you have taken humanities like the psychology and history and social studies, if you want to make a change and you want to try CA, you are welcome. The door is open for you. So in a foundation route, you don't have the subject eligibility. Only thing, you must have completed 12th standard with some minimum marks. So that is the way it is. Even when it says the other route, which is a direct entry for graduates, there also all the graduates are welcome. Only thing, A commerce graduate will be needing 55%. Other graduates, whether English literature, even or arts and science, they can also come in. In fact, of late, we see a lot of non-commerce students coming through the direct entry route to CA studies. And recently, a lady of 54 years age just completed CA because she started her CA studies only 3 years back after retiring from government job. She voluntarily retired and started this. So that is the way CA. There's no age limit. There is no any restriction. There is complete open system. Men, women are treated at par. All are completely open and welcoming thing. So that is why even the people with who cannot afford any other studies, coming from very poor background, they can do well because the total cost is going to be extremely affordable. We will see that. Now, how will I do my CA and what are the different things I have to do to complete my certification? There are 3 things you need to do. One is the examinations, which is in 3 levels, like the CPT Foundation and Intermediate or IPCC, and the final. And then you need to do 3 years of articleship. That is where you get your practical exposure. That is the uniqueness of Indian CA. Even ICAA has a requirement like that, but they are not that active and actively pursuing that as Indian CAs do. What I mean by that is an Indian CA has to start his work in an audit firm to start his articleship. So 3 years of articleship has to be done. Now the audit firms across the world are opening up their door. In India it is there, in UAE it is there, in Bahrain it is there. In Oman we have one issue, that is a visa issue. Because of that, manpower ministry is not providing visas for CAs. Therefore, you can't do the articleship for CAs in India as we speak now. But as the country is opening up for more avenues in the days to come, we believe and we hope that things will open up for articleship in Oman also. And we also have the soft skill requirement. You need to complete soft skill trainings, and that is also part of the program, and we'll see that in the next one. Next is how the articleship work. When can I start my articleship? If you're finishing your 12th standard and completing your CPT examination, and then coming into pursuing a your articleship and your CA further, you need to complete your orientation program. That is almost a 4 weeks program, and that needs to be done in India or in Dubai also they provide. And once you finish these 2, you register yourself for the CA Intermediate. And CA Intermediate, you have 2 groups each with 4 papers. You must complete at least 1 group, either first group or second group, and the orientation program. Then you can start your articleship. So that's the latest regulation now. Before you finish your CPT, 4 exams, and your CA Intermediate, 4 exams, and then start your articleship. It may take at least a year to 18 months for you to do that after finishing your 12th standard. So you do your articleship, that will go for 3 years. And once you finish 2.5 years in your articleship, because in the first year itself, if you have completed only 1 group in the intermediate, you need to do the second group and finish it. Once you finish your second group, that is intermediate is fully completed, and you finish almost 2.5 years of your articleship, then immediately you can register for your CA final exam. So you can make it in such a way that at the end of your articleship, you would have given your final exam and you complete it. Once you do that, the second program, which is at the bottom of the screen, which is ITT, which is the Information Technology and Training, and the soft skills training, that also again available in India and in UAE. So with the days to come, hopefully they will make it online, but currently this is available only offline as a physical classroom. You need to be there. So once you finish all of them, you finish your course and you come out as successful CA. I think I've done within the short time the entire thing. Now, what are the questions generally it comes to your mind? One is, how much does it cost? As you know very well, being a parent myself, having 2 college finished graduates to kids, education today is one of the costliest things. Unless the parents plan it well, is going to be really creating a big dent on their pocket. An average graduation in India, any college program will be minimum 10 lakhs. It can go up to even 50, 60 lakhs, depending on the program, like MBBS or engineering if you want. And outside India, if you want to do a graduation, BS or BA, that's going to be at least in the range of, for a 3-year program, $150,000. Yeah. So in India, it is going to be in rupees. Here, it is going to be in dollars. Whereas compared to that, if you think about Indian CA, the fee which you pay, including the exam fee, everything together, it won't be more than 50,000 rupees, considering even the next 3 years, I'm telling. It will not exceed 50,000 rupees if you finish all your exams in the first attempt and pay all your fees and all your textbook cost, everything, because the textbooks also provided by the institute. You do not buy from outside unless you want to do some additional studies. So that all together, it will cost you hardly 50,000. In addition to this, you have your other expenses, like if you want to stay in India to pursue your classes, short-term courses, or your CA classes, that's going to cost you additionally some more money. So it's very affordable. In fact, 3 years back in Bombay, one of the auto rickshaw drivers' daughter, they could afford, you see that, and she stood all India first rank. So that was a very proud moment for every one of us, because CA is a program which is even affordable easily, not even with a great difficulty, because an auto driver also could. We know how is the earnings there. So they could afford that. So that is the main advantage of CA, because if you are really pursuing CA, your parents are going to be very happy about it for 2 reasons. Number one, you have a future assured. And number two, certainly they need not worry much about the financing cost of education. Second is combined programs. You know, many times people would say that, oh, 3 years I'm doing, can I do also graduations? In fact, in India, that doors are open. I'm seeing from your schedule that next week or in the future, Christ College from Bangalore, they are going to come and give a session. In Christ College, Bangalore, they started many years back, combined program. That is, you can do a BCom from Bangalore University together with the CA. So that type of programs are available. So you can be assured of, yeah, 3 years I do CA, but I don't know whether I'm going to pass, or at least I want to have a CA graduation together with that. That is possible. And next thing is, many students ask this question whenever I visit schools for talking about CA. What about ACCA? Why can't I do ACCA? Or is CA better than CPA? It's extremely difficult to have a metric to say that this is better than that. But if you see the market perception, if a CA and an ACCA go for an interview, who will be selected? Obviously, the employers will prefer a chartered accountant, a CA, no doubt about it. I'm not putting or understating the value of other programs, but I'm just giving the market perception. Certainly, no doubt about it. Yeah. Oh, I think with that, I've finished my time and my talk, and we can open up. You know, one of the biggest challenges for CA is students always say it's going to be very tough, very tough. I tell you, the future depends on what you do today. I didn't tell that. Mahatma Gandhi told that. So, yeah, it's, if you take the pain for a few years, you will have a lifetime of pleasure and assured prosperity in the program. I wish you all the best. Once again, thank you to the school. I'm open up for any questions. There is any?
James?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch upon some few other options available. We said, you know, apart from our chartered accountancy, there are the ACCA. Okay. The one thing I should say that we are all in Oman, but you know, the ACCA can be pursued here. Okay. And then you, at the same time, you can work also. If you find employment, you can start working, and at the same time you can pursue ACCA side by side. There are other qualifications which also you can do together. If you complete your graduation, there are other areas of profession which is called, one is the CIA, the Certified Internal Auditor. So all the people, and then, you have the certified information system auditor. Okay, likewise, there are so many other options, but you will be thinking that, since you are in the 10th standard, 11th or 12th standard, you will be thinking, just I had the doubt when I was young, auditors, accountant, what do they do? These people come and talk about becoming an accountant, becoming an auditor and all. What is actually that, how can I earn money? So you in a child's language, I would like to tell you few things. One is, if somebody wants to set up a company, they approach accountants or auditors, okay? And then we make it, we make a study. We study whether it is a feasible project, okay? And then they set up the company. So the accountant or auditor, they help them, okay? And then when they set up the company, they should have accountants to write their daily accounts, purchases, sales, expenses, So that is where all the accountants, they need not be chartered. Whoever is qualified as a graduate, BCom, or, those people can write the accounts. And at the same time, then once you prepare the accounts, you come to know what is the net results in a business, which we call as a balance sheet. At the end of the year, what have you earned? What assets are there? What liabilities are there? But if you write something in the accounts and give to the banker who has put a loan in the company, they will not accept. They will say, no, you get it done by an auditor. An auditor means, he independently goes through what you have prepared and certifies that, yeah, the accounts are perfectly well. You can depend upon the accounts. So the bank accepts and bank gives the loan. This is one area in which we help. And then where do certified, internal auditors come? Most of the company, they would like to set up controls in existence. They want to see that everything in the company perfectly works well. There are checks and means in the company. Their systems are perfectly okay, for which they employ certified internal auditors, or a company where, internal auditors are there, they provide these services. But then, as I said, you will be making accounts, but that could be in computers also. When there are complicated systems in the information technology, then you need somebody to give assurance on the system. That is where we call, a certified information system auditor. So if you a graduate, once you are a graduate, you can go for CISA qualification. It is privately, you can, from sitting in Oman, you can register for all these courses. The only thing you cannot do is the Indian CA. Indian CA, if the Ministry of Manpower permits here, of course, you can get a labor clearance and get enrolled, and you can work with a company for 3 years. But it's a remote chance. We have been trying for so many years, but it never materialized. But there are courses like the ACCA, which you can do from Oman. You can take paper by paper. Every quarter there are examinations which you can take. And there are colleges also which are providing ACCA trainings in Oman. And not only ACCA, there is the US qualification of CPA. The CPA also, you can just buy your books from here locally. You can register with any of the states in the US and see that your graduation or your experience is enough to get entitlement for pursuing US CPA. Like Mr. James, he is also a certified public accountant from the US. So then, you study on your own. It is not a costly exercise. If you put yourself, if you can spare 3-4 hours every day for 8 to 10 months, the CPA is yours, provided you are a graduate in account. Likewise, there are courses. We were talking about fraud examiners. We are currently having a local chapter. I'm the president. And my, in my office only, Mr. Jose Chaco is the vice president of the chapter. What we give guidance on how to become a certified fraud examiner. When the business is big, the owners lose control. And sometimes people take money by fraud, misappropriations, and then they call. go and, get an investigation person. And then they come to a forensic investigator, what we call a CFE, Certified Fraud Examiners. This examination also you can take from here. It may not be that much costly one. You can study at home, or you can register for some coaching, which is done online. And then, there are 4 papers and you become a certified fraud examiner. These things, it will not take more than 2-3 months to be a fraud examiner if you are committed. Like I said, CPA, if you are committed, you can be a certified public accountant of the US within 6 months, provided you are entitled to join for CPA, that is with a degree and other requirements. So likewise, once you enter the commerce field, the opportunities are huge. You can divert in whichever way you want. Why I brought in fraud examiners is, some of my staff even, they have joined for the CFE and they qualify because they like investigation. They have seen detective movies and, spies and all. They feel that, they should also go in for fraud examiners. Naturally, if you read through the fraud examiners, the curriculum, and, it says that you are authorized to question people, and come to conclusion whether they are chargeable. So, every profession, every different disciplines has its own charm. Okay, so we have tried to explain all these to you. So in case you want to have a discussion or anything, our office is also open to you. Myself is there, Mr. James is there. I said we are 60 people. Somebody will entertain you. And I wish all the participants here very, bright future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sirs, for the enlightening and entertaining presentations. Dear audience, there is a feedback form in the description box. Please feel free to fill it. As we are coming to the end of a wonderful session, I would like to express our gratitude to one and all who are behind its grand success. First and foremost, I express our profound gratitude to His Majesty, Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, for his great vision, leadership, and benevolence. May the Almighty bless His Majesty and this beautiful nation with peace and prosperity. I, Neha and Manoj, on behalf of Indian School Muscat, the organizing team, and the entire audience, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our speakers, Mr. Davis Kallukaran and Mr. James Ravi. We sincerely appreciate the time and efforts you took to share with us your immense knowledge and experience. I am sure that your words are going to inspire many of my friends to take up a career in finance. Wholeheartedly, I thank Honorable Chairman, Board of Directors, Indian Schools in the Sultanate of Oman, Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, and honorable members on the board, Mr. Ajay Kumar J, President, Indian School Muscat Management Committee, esteemed members of the Indian School Muscat Management Committee, our Honorable Principal, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Chauhan, Presidents and esteemed members of all Indian School Management Committees in the Sultanate of Oman, Honorable Principals, Vice Principals, Assistant Vice Principals, Supervisors, Coordinators, Heads of Departments, and teachers for their support and guidance for organizing such an event. Thank you all for assisting and encouraging all of us. I thank all the students and parents for being with us today and for your active participation during the entire program. Signing off is Neha and Manoj of Class 11I, Indian School Muscat. Thank you once again. Wishing you all success in your future endeavors. Stay safe.